Thank you so much for joining us again. Tonight we have an amazing guest. I personally think she might be a superhero or secret agent. I don't know which, but in Hong Kong she was a police officer. She's been a flight attendant. She's been a cosmetologist. She has had her own business. She has a show. I mean, and she's a salsa dancer. And I won't tell you what she's turning on her next birthday because I can't believe it. It's absolutely amazing. But today we're going to have a conversation with Anna. That's also the name of her show. Welcome, Anna Poon. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for inviting me here.
Yeah, so I want to get straight to it. When we were emailing and I saw your resume, the things you have done in this lifetime, I'm exhausted for you. Like, you have done so much. So I would love for you to share with the viewers you were in Hong Kong. Mm-hmm. You were a police officer. Mm-hmm. Okay, so tell us about that. Like, how did that happen?
Actually, I became a police officer after my high school, right after my high school.
Wow.
The reason why I became a police officer at that time, it was 1975. Mm-hmm. When I finished my high school, if I know it earlier, I won't leave school, I will continue because there's a recession. Mm-hmm. But I promised my parents that after high school, I will start working to help them. Mm-hmm. And the only job that give very good, well, here we call wages, but over there we call salary, mm-hmm. is being a policeman, mm-hmm. because nobody want to be a policeman at that time. Mm-hmm. But I said to myself that I need the money. So I went to apply. Immediately they said, wow, you're overqualified. I said, what do you mean by that? We're not hiring officer at the time. We just hire street cop, okay, constable. But here we call street cop. Mm-hmm. So I said, I don't mind to start, from the lower ranking, because mm-hmm. if that's the case, I know how the lifestyle is. And I asked him, will I be promoted? I'm very straightforward. Mm-hmm. I'm a very honest person. I ask questions. I said, will I be promoted if there's a chance? He said, oh, of course, definitely. So I said, I don't mind to start low. Mm-hmm. So I joined the police department when I was only 17 or 18. Wow. Yeah, and then I climbed up the ladder. Mm-hmm. And during the 23 years with the police department, I went to night school. Mm-hmm. I got my law degree over there.
Oh, wow.
And also, while I was a police officer, I have a lot of chances to move to different departments. Mm-hmm. So I've been a prosecutor there. I've been teaching in the police academy. And my final position, they call it road safety officer. And mm-hmm. I was on the TV for 5 years before I came to America in 1997.
You had like a whole full life before even coming here.
I mean, I can't stop.
Yeah. So what brought you to the United States?
Because in 1997, mm-hmm. Hong Kong became under China. Mm-hmm. So I came to America for freedom.
Okay.
And I foresee it. I foresee it's not the same because mm-hmm. we were under the British at that when I was in Hong Kong. Mm-hmm. And I was born under the British. That's why I left while they changed.
Yeah. And so you said you landed in California.
Yes.
Okay. So what was that? You came alone? Did you come
Yes,
with family?
I came here as a student mm-hmm. with the help of some friends and mm-hmm. Relatives. Mm-hmm. And I came here, initially I wanted to study law as a lawyer. Mm-hmm. But then after I started school, I found that the law school is very expensive mm-hmm. as an international student. And I even heard that even local students mm-hmm. carry a big student loan after that. And also they have to put advertisement. Mm-hmm. And as well as they have to give out free consultation. I said, mm-hmm. what kind of profession it is? And I said, oh no, that's kind of strange. And then I met my husband, mm-hmm. and immediately he wanted to marry me. I said, oh, no, that's not what my plan was. But then he explained to me and convinced me. So I eventually I got married. After I got married, and he convinced me again to help him with his business. So I went home to do the business with him.
Okay.
And later, I think that as a woman, we need to be independent.
Yes. Yeah.
And then when I was young, I was interested in the beauty industry because I was not very pretty when I was young.
I doubt that.
No, that's another story.
You are gorgeous. I can't
thank
even
you.
imagine that.
There was another story. So, so I said, maybe I can do some beauty industry. Then my friend said, no, you can't just sell cosmetic or do facial on somebody without license. I said, license again? So I went to look for how to get the license. And then I went to a beauty school in California. So 1,600 hours in California.
Wow.
Unlike in North Carolina, they have less.
Yeah.
So 16 hours took me 10 months.
Wow.
8 hours a day with no break.
Yeah.
And then immediately after I finished my beauty school, I got my license right away. And I started my beauty salon for a few years.
Okay. You had your own beauty salon?
Yeah, I had my own
Nice.
beauty salon. And I even invite the mayor, Miss Temple City, for the grand opening.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
It was what I have learned in Hong Kong. Everything I learned that I could apply to here. And then after 9/11, somebody told me about the airline industry. I said, what?
That's an interesting time to tell you.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So I said I was too old to be a flight attendant. Because if you look into all those Asian airlines, everyone is 18 to 24 or 26. 28, you're out.
Yep. And gorgeous and
Yeah. So I didn't know about the culture here, but somebody told me about that, and they said, we can walk you through. I didn't even know how to write a resume. Everything is helped by my friends.
Yeah.
That's why I feel amazing living in America, because if you reach out for help, someone will come up to help.
Yeah.
So I became a flight attendant right away because of 9/11 with my law enforcement background and with some customer service.
Yeah.
And with a big smile. They hired me right away at the spot.
So you got to travel a lot then?
I would always say, except the North Pole and South Pole.
Okay, so
I'm very blessed.
Yeah, I'm. It's amazing. So after you were a flight attendant, okay, what was the next thing? Like at some point, you came to North Carolina.
Well, I came to North Carolina because the airline has a base in Charlotte. So I had to fly between California, Los Angeles to Charlotte. So we call commuting. It was really hard for new hire because we are on standby.
Right.
And then one of the passenger, he told me that the house in Charlotte is not that expensive.
Right.
So what happened is, oh my gosh, surprised me. I bought some company stock and I make some money.
Yeah.
That's enough for me to put the down payment.
Wow.
So I bought a house by the airport.
Nice short commute.
Yeah,
right?
and also I rent it out.
Okay.
I share with some other flight attendant pilots. They help me to pay my mortgage.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that's why I'm still here in Charlotte.
Do you think Charlotte's going to be home now, or?
Not really.
Not
I'm
really?
very honest.
Yeah. No,
Because
yeah.
my families are all in California.
Okay.
My children, my grandchildren, they're all in
Yeah.
California. So I fly back and forth.
Do you fly to Hong Kong at all anymore? Or?
After the COVID, and I always said that we were forced to retire. Many senior flight attendants, we were forced to retire because during the COVID, a lot of people they may not understand that we have what we call it the layoff.
Right.
So we go by seniority. So whoever senior will stay. Whoever junior will be laid off or they will be furloughed until they will call back. Some of them may not be able to call back. Some of them, they have to wait. So what happened is a time that the company offers us a retire package to try to get the senior people out.
Because they cost more.
So I was thinking about one of my children is also, he's still working for the airlines, is, within that small group, the younger ones. I said, maybe, you know what, I convinced the other senior people. I said, let's go, let them stay. We can always, because we don't have so much financial stress like when we had the kids.
Right.
So I decided to retire after the COVID.
So you retire. You had this whole amazing life doing all these different things. You retire. What made you say, I want to have a podcast?
Well, it was me that always, during when I have a career, I always found something different. And before I came to America, I was on TV as one of my job.
You said you did broadcasting?
Yeah, I studied broadcasting because on the internet I found a broadcasting school. I said, what is broadcasting school? So it's related to what I was on TV, because in Hong Kong, that when you have a crew, I don't need to know anything at all. So every morning the crew will come to pick me up, and then all I know is to put the clip, the mic clip. And everything is look at the camera, listen to the director what I need to say, and that's all. I was just curious, what's broadcasting? So the school also offered me a scholarship.
Oh, wow.
They offered me half a scholarship. I said, why not?
Yeah.
So I went there for over a year, and then all I did was to arrange my time to come back to take the class. So it took me more than a year to finish broadcasting school, and then accidentally I came into SS21, and then I looked into it. I said, wow, that's interesting. Everything's free. Now listen, if you're interested in broadcasting, even now they have a podcast,
right?
Because I request them to open the podcast. So whenever there's free, I say, well, even though we know that there's no free lunch in America, but I think that wasn't bad to have a look into it. So all we did is voluntary work. So it's not free, but voluntary work, but it's fun. So I came here and I found that it will keep me up with the knowledge. So I came here and I joined as a member, and I came back, do sometimes the floor director, sometimes director, lighting, so helping each other, just to keep up my skill and the knowledge. So I found that it's very, very rewarding.
Okay. Well, we have a clip that we're going to play from one of your podcasts real quick, and then we're going to come back and talk some more.
Okay.
All right. Enjoy this clip from Conversations with Anna.
即係佢而家嘅老婆咁講佢咩 model， 我話咩 model 啊，大家心照啦，係嘛？當年嗰啲相係咪你四圍咁樣，即係乜乜乜嗰啲咁。咁但係人呢，就只能夠講佢英雄就莫問出處嚇。咁人哋成功，人哋揾到個咁即係諗都諗唔到會做到第一夫人嘅，即係俾佢有機會做到第一夫人嘅老公嚇。咁我自己揾唔到啫嘛，我失敗啫嘛，我都想揾到啊，不過揾唔到啫。咁但係講翻呢樣嘢先，咁2019年之前呢，我就真係冇，即係我冇去踩佢，但係我亦都冇去支持佢。但係2019年嘅時間呢，因為香港嘅問題呢，我就曾經去接觸過佢。咁點解會我要接觸佢呢？我就覺得就話，喂你去一間公司做嘢，你都係希望。即係個老闆請你嘅啫，係嘛？你同嗰啲。
So the first question everybody's going to want to know is, what was that podcast about?
Wow, that was very interesting. You find it out.
So obviously it's in Cantonese.
No,
so.
Didn't mention about the name. It was Donald Trump.
Oh. That's who the podcast was about. So it was an opinion piece.
Yes, a little bit about why, sometimes I always say we don't judge people, okay? We don't judge people. But I explained to the other side, I didn't know the person. How am I going to judge a person or make any comments? That is about that clip, the little clip. I said, don't judge people, but you have to understand, you need to know the person, why I switch my mind.
Right.
Yeah, because I was seeking help. And finally, he did help.
So what led you to specifically wanting conversations with Anna? What are your hopes, or what is the goal and purpose of the podcast?
Actually, because of my experience, and I've been flying for 20 years, over 20 years. Even though when I was a police officer, I met a lot of people. So I thought that I met a lot of people when I was in Hong Kong already. I also met criminals, people, and also business people. But after I become a flight attendant, I found that I met people from all over the world, actually. So I think that it really helped me to understand people more. I won't be so, I wasn't subjective already, but I would be more considerate.
Right.
Always think on the other side, of the people. We call it put ourselves into other people's shoes. That's number one. And also I use Cantonese because after I moved to the States for a few years, I realized that if we don't use it, we lose it. I'm not saying that we should speak my own native language all the time, but at least we maintained it. And also the more language we know, the better. Because at least you know if somebody is talking behind our back.
Right.
So that's how I thinking about that. Unfortunately, I haven't learned very good Spanish because in California, most people speak Spanish. I feel so bad. My husband never speaks Spanish at home. That's unfortunately.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to perfect now is my Spanish. But I mentioned to you earlier about my mom being from Vietnam. And one of the regrets, that my brothers and I have, and she has too, is, we were that generation where being bilingual was not, and I grew up in California as well. Being bilingual it was thought like, oh, that'll be confusing for the children. So we never got to learn Vietnamese. And I regret that because, when my family finally came, I couldn't speak to them. I had a translator.
Now, that's the reason why now my daughter wants me to speak to my grandbabies in Cantonese. Because when I was in Hong Kong, we spoke English at home. Yeah. Even though my mom was from China. She encouraged us to speak English in Hong Kong. The reason why is back then, only if you can speak English good, you get a good job.
Right.
Okay. Right. Like you say, you have Asian heritage. You understand the Asian culture is they want the children to have more education, either a lawyer, a doctor, accountant, architect. That's what
pressure.
That's
it's
what
pressure.
we had in my family.
Yeah. So what are the conversations with Anna like? Like what conversations are you having with the podcast?
Every week I will pick up some topics, either related to the news. I'm not politician, okay? Right. And I don't analyze politics. I don't, because I don't know anything about politics. But I will tell what's going on, and also what I come across. Even like traveling, I have a part on traveling tips. A lot of people think that, oh, your traveling tips must be going to which country, what city. No, my tips, I give you one example. On the airplane, we don't call toilet. We call lavatory. Yes. And we call lab, okay? Yeah. And how to use a lab. Some people don't even know how to use a lab. Yeah. So in order not to embarrass, so right. I have similar things like that. Or when you are sitting on first class, when the flight attendant come up to ask you, what would you like, ma'am, what would you like, sir? They don't know what to order. So I will explain to them what they can order. And also, if they miss a flight, and I would tell them, don't panic. Don't panic. This kind of tips that I share with them.
Yeah, those are helpful. I mean,
Very
those are very
helpful.
helpful. So that episode that we just played was in Cantonese. Is your entire podcast, are they all in Cantonese? Is that primarily your audience
Yeah.
right now?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you mentioned in February you're coming out with a new
Yeah.
show. Tell me about that.
In February, I will be coming out a brand new episode. It's called Anna's Life in a Rainbow. Because
Okay.
I'm not flying anymore, so I'm not
Yeah.
a flight attendant. So I will bring up more of the different. Yeah, I use the rainbow, the 7 colors of the rainbow, to as my guideline. So I will share with them what my life is, what I've experienced, and currently I'm also a volunteer citizen on patrol for the CMPD.
Wow.
I didn't expect that because I always love to do voluntary work.
Yeah.
Because I believe that the community give me the opportunity to grow, to be successful. I think it's okay, not as successful as millionaire, or billionaire. Millionaire is not anymore
Right,
important.
no, yeah.
Everybody can be a millionaire
Yeah.
now. You got a house, is a millionaire. But I believe that in order to be successful, is the opportunity given by the community. Every people around us.
Yeah.
If they don't give us the opportunity, we won't have a chance.
Right.
So I think at certain point we need to contribute back.
Right.
So I went online to look for the police department, which I think that I have more expertise in it. So I wrote to them and I found out they have voluntary position.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I sent them. I was thinking about maybe I just help indoor, but then they call me
They
and
put
say,
you on patrol.
"Yeah."
Watch out.
Well, actually, I like to share with everyone: is citizen on patrol is not police officer.
Right.
Okay, we are not a police officer. We are just helping the policemen. We have no police power, but we will be helping in especially traffic control.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay, so what would you say, like your experience here with being trained to do a podcast and doing the podcast, what has your experience been like? What would you want someone out there who is thinking about having a podcast, what would you want them to know?
Well, as I said, SS21 is a non-profit organization. And I want to share with you that all the equipments here are very expensive. So normal person may not be able to afford it. And you don't want to invest in the cameras, in all these control equipment. So the best thing is come to join SS21. If you are North Carolina citizen, is it North Carolina or Charlotte? If you're Charlotte, you don't have to pay a lot of money. That's very affordable, you might tell them. Even though if you're not Charlotte, you can still join them. You just have to pay a little bit more. Yeah, and then you can use the facilities here. And we have a group of, or basically all the members are volunteer. And they can help you from lighting, from floor director, from director,
Engineering.
everything.
Yeah.
If you need somebody to help you with editing, then we also
Yeah.
have people to edit. You know?
That's one thing that I've seen, in my short time here, is just how supportive
Yeah.
everyone is of
Very
one another.
supportive, yeah.
It's a family here,
Yeah.
which is really cool too. So, okay. Well, I am like, no, I can't let this go. Because you sent this to me in the text, so I got to say it. You said you're retired, but you're a salsa dancer.
Yes. I think that a lot of, when we were young kids, okay, we like singing, dancing, or some of them, especially in America, a lot of cheerleaders. But for me, music is one of the my hobbies that will help me to relax. That's why I like singing. I learned as a professional singer when I was young. But I didn't want to be a singer. I just want to sing that so nobody will run away. Or singing in the bathroom. No,
Yeah.
not me. So about 10 years ago, I was thinking about maybe I pick up something to help me to relax. So I picked up a dance, and I know nothing about salsa. So I went online to search, looking for a studio so I can learn dancing. So all I knew at the time is tango, waltz,
Right.
fortress, rumba, and that's all. But I never know about salsa. and there was a lady, she responded to me, she said, you need to come to the studio and look at it. Well, we don't charge. Also.
Wow. Well, that's a bonus.
So I went there, and I want to make sure that my feet can catch up with the beats. So she told me it's very easy. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Missing the 4 and 8. So I said, is that simple? She said, yes. But then at that time, because my schedule didn't fit, so I said, okay, maybe wait until I retire.
Yeah.
So 2020, after the COVID, I said, what can I do? As we getting older, I know that we need to keep exercise.
Right.
And I didn't like to go to the gym.
No.
So I
I'm
said,
with you.
maybe I just go back to learn salsa.
Yeah. Perfect. I'm like you. I want to dance.
Yeah.
I want to dance.
Well,
Yeah.
just come to the studio.
Well, you know what? You're lucky that you're mic'd up, because I would make you dance right now. I've made people sing before. So
And also the other one you will love that is bachata.
bachata, yeah, I've seen it. I haven't tried it, but that is on my list.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you tell our viewers where they can see or hear your podcast, when it comes out, all the information so that they can tune in, and when the next one's coming out.
I will start in February, and then I will have my Facebook, and I have my Anna Poon Talks. You look for Anna Poon Talks, you will find me there. And then I will also in the Spotify.
I'm
and
so
the
excited.
Apple Podcasts.
Yes, I am so excited. I mean, I'm like inspired by you. You're amazing.
Oh, thank you.
And I hope you guys are inspired by Anna as well. Please tune into her podcast and come back to CMPAC Spotlight in our next episode, where we spotlight another amazing member. And this is Vanelle signing off for the day. We'll see you next time.